wasn't sure how to go about meditating on death. Medieval monks kept images of skeletons in their cells as memento mori. 16th century Venitas artists painted still lifes that included symbols of the brevity of life and the certainty of death, like guttering candles, hourglasses, rotten fruit, and bubbles. What could I do to achieve the heightened awareness that death and catastrophe bring without putting that skull on the coffee table? I hit a memento mori that suited me. I read memoirs by people facing death. I went to the library and checked out an enormous stack of books. I started by collecting accounts by people grappling with serious illness and death. But then I broadened my search to include any kind of catastrophe, divorce, paralysis, addiction, and all the rest. I hoped that it would be possible for me to benefit from the knowledge that these people had won with so much pain without undergoing the same ordeals. There are some kinds of profound wisdom that I hope never to gain from my own experience. August was a month of sunshine and vacation, which, because it made such a stark contrast to the dark confidences of these books, was probably the best backdrop. The reassurance of being with my family made it easier to experience viciously so much unhappiness and loss. As we were packing for a trip to the beach, Jamie glanced at a few of the books I had stuffed into our battered duffel bag. Is this really what you want to be reading while we are away? He said doubtfully as he scanned the book jackets. Stan Mack on cancer, Janae O'Kelly on brain tumors, and Martha Beck on having a baby with Down syndrome. I know it seems like it would be incredibly depressing to read these books, but it's not. It's sad, but it's also, well, I hate to say uplifting, but they are uplifting. Okay, he shrugged. Whatever. I'm taking a bright, shining lie and Middlemarch. By the end of our trip, I'd finished every book I had packed. I didn't agree with Tolstoy's observation that happy families are all alike, but perhaps it was true that every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Although many of these memoirs described a similar circumstance, grappling with a life threatening condition, each was memorable for its story of unique suffering. As a consequence of reading these accounts, I found myself with a greatly heightened appreciation for my ordinary existence. Everyday life seems so permanent and unshakable, but as I was reminded by these writers, it can be destroyed by a single phone call. One memoir after another started with a recitation of the specific moment when a person's familiar life ended forever. Gilda Radner wrote, on October 21, 1986, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. The call comes at 7 p.m. The tumor is malignant and inoperable. Cornelius Ryan recalled July 23, 1970. On this soft morning, I think I must begin to acknowledge the distinct possibility that I am dying. The diagnosis changes everything. Reading these accounts also gave me a new and intense appreciation for my obedient body, for the simple ability to eat or walk or even pee in the usual fashion. Being on vacation pulled me off my usual eating routine, and I found myself indulging in potato chips, milkshakes, grilled cheese sandwiches, and other treats that I wouldn't ordinarily eat. One morning, I felt dejected because I had gained a few pounds. But having just finished an account by a prostate cancer survivor made me feel far more kindly to my own body. Instead of feeling perpetually dissatisfied with my weight, I should delight in feeling vital, healthy, pain free, fear free. A common theme in religion and philosophy, as well as in catastrophe memoirs, is the admonition to live fully and thankfully in the present. So often, it's only after some calamity strikes that we appreciate what we had. There are times in the lives of most of us, observed William Edward Hartpole Lecky, when we would have given all the world to be as we were but yesterday. though that yesterday had passed over us unappreciated and unenjoyed. As I became more aware of preciousness of ordinary life, I was overwhelmed by the desire to capture the floods of moments that passed practically unnoticed. I never used to think much about the past, but having children has made me much more wistful about the passage of time. Today I am pushing Eleanor in a stroller. One day she'll be pushing me in a wheelchair. Will I then remember my present life? I couldn't get a line from Horace out of my head. The years, as they pass, plunder us of one thing after another. I decided to start a one sentence journal. I knew I couldn't write lyrical prose for 45 minutes each morning in a beautiful notebook. And my handwriting is so bad that I wouldn't be able to read it afterward, even if I did. But I could manage to type one or two sentences into my computer each night. The journal became a place to record the fleeting moments that make life sweet, but that so easily vanish from memory. It also helped me amplify the effect of happy experiences by giving me an opportunity to observe the third and fourth prongs of the four stages of happiness by expressing and recalling my feelings. Even after the summer had faded into the past, I had have a way to remind myself of unmemorable but lovely moments. The night Jamie invented a new kind of pie, or Eliza's first trip alone to the grocery store. I can't imagine forgetting the time when Eleanor pointed to her spaghetti and said politely, "More pajamas, please," when she meant parmesan, but I will. On our last day at the beach, when we were packed up and ready to leave, Jamie and I sat reading the newspaper as we all waited for the ferry. Eleanor wandered off to practice her stair climbing on a short set of three stairs, so I went to help her climb up and down, up and down. I considered going to get a section of the paper to read as I stood with her, and then I realized this is it. This was my precious fleeting time with Eleanor as a little girl, so adorable and cheery and persistent. As she went up and down those wooden stairs, the sun was shining, the flowers were blooming. She looked so darling in her pink summer dress. Why would I want to distract myself from the moment by reading the paper? She had already grown so much. We had never have a tiny baby again. I have had this thought before, but suddenly I grasped that this was my third splendid truth. The days are long, but the years are short. It sounds like something from a cookie, but it's true. Each day, each phase of life seems long, but the years pass so quickly. I wanted to appreciate the present time, the seasons, this time of life. With Eliza, so much had already passed away. The Wiggles, Pat, the Bunny, the make believe games we used to play. One day, and that day wasn't too far away. I had think back on Eleanor's babyhood with longing. This moment of preemptive nostalgia was intense and bittersweet. From that moment of illumination, I've had a heightened awareness of inevitability of loss and death that has never left me. I made a note of this moment in my one sentence journal, and now I can hang on to it forever. All packed up to go home, waiting for the ferry, Eleanor had as much fun climbing the beach stairs as anything we did all summer. Up and down, up and down. Heartbreakingly adorable in her white hat that Jamie bought, clutching her favorite toothbrush, of course. But everything changes, everything passes. Sometimes I do cheat and write more than one sentence. When I introduced the idea of one sentence journal on my blog, I was surprised by the enthusiastic response. Clearly, a lot of people suffer from the same thwarted journal keeping impulse that I do. Like me, they find the prospect of keeping a journal enticing but intimidating. The idea of keeping a limited journal to enjoy the satisfaction of keeping a record of experiences or thoughts, but without the guilt or burden of writing at length, struck a chord. Several people shared their own version of a one sentence journal. One reader kept a journal that he planned to give to his three children. He travels a lot for work, so he keeps a small notebook in his briefcase, and every time he gets on a plane, and only while passengers are boarding, he fills a few pages about the latest going on in their family. I think this is a particularly brilliant solution because it transforms wasted time into an enjoyable, creative, and productive period. Another reader wrote to say that after seeing an interview with the writer Elizabeth Gilbert on Oprah, she had been inspired to imitate Gilbert's practice of keeping a happiness journal in which she writes down the happiest moment of every day. Another reader and entrepreneur keeps a work journal in which he notes any important work related events, problems, or discoveries. He reported that it was an invaluable resource because whenever he wants to remember how he handled a particular situation, his journal prompts his memory of how he handled it and what he learned. I work alone, and if I didn't have a work journal, I'd probably keep making the same stupid mistakes over and over. And it gives me a feeling of progress by reminding me of how far I have come since I started my company. Along with keeping the one sentence journal, the catastrophe memoirs spurred me to take another, less pleasant kind of action. I realized that Jamie and I needed to get our affairs in order. All the memoirs emphasize how horrible it was to deal with cold logistics at a time of shock and grief. I said to Jamie, we really need to update our wills. Okay, let's do it, he answered. We've been saying that we should for years, and we really need to. Okay, we are never going to feel like doing it. So we just have to decide to do it. Yes, you are right, he said. I'm agreeing with you. Let's get something on the calendar. And we did. Zoiks, there's nothing like seeing the words last will and testament in lawyerly, old fashioned typewriter style courier font to act as a memento mori. And although it sounds supremely unromantic, rarely have I felt such love for Jamie as I did in that lawyer's office. I was so grateful for the fact that he was alive and strong, and the wills seemed like play documents that would never matter. With our wedding anniversary approaching on September 4, it occurred to me that a slightly grim way to mark the occasion would be to use our anniversary as an annual prompt to review our situation. Were our wills up to date? Did Jamie and I both have access to the financial information that the other person routinely handled? I knew offhand that Jamie had no idea where I kept our tax or insurance information on the girls' birth certificates. I should probably mention that to him. Repeating this be prepared day review annually on our anniversary would keep it from seeming morbid. Instead, it would be an ordinary expression of family responsibility. Along the same lines, one night, as I lay reading in bed after Jamie had fallen asleep, I finished Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking about the first year after her husband's death. As I closed the book, I was overwhelmed with thankfulness at the fact that Jamie, snoozing gently beside me, was safe for now. Why did I get so irritated when he waited for me to change Eleanor's diaper? Why did I keep complaining about his failure to return my emails? Let it go. I felt a bit guilty about my reaction to these memoirs of catastrophe. Was it wrong to feel reassured by reading about those sorrowful events? Viewed one day, there was a ghoulish quality to this downward comparison, a prudish exploitation, however benign, of other people's anguish, but the feeling of happy relief that came from recognizing my good fortune for the moment was something most of these writers had sought to create. Over and over, they emphasize the importance of cherishing health and appreciating ordinary life. Other themes: keep up with your doctor's appointment, don't ignore big changes in your body, make sure you have health insurance. That said, I don't think these memoirs would cheer me if I had more brushes with serious illness. I don't think I had be able to stand reading them. Jamie, for one, would never read those books. He had too many unpleasant experiences in hospital to want to visit voluntarily, even through the lives of other people. Keep a gratitude notebook. Keep a gratitude notebook. Reading catastrophe memoirs made me extremely grateful for the fact that I wasn't
One second.
experiencing.
Just one
Yeah,
second. One second. I just wanted to know how many, if anyone has written the name. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Shruti, please continue.
Reading catastrophe memoirs made me extremely grateful for the fact that I wasn't experiencing a catastrophe. Research shows that because we measure ourselves relative to others, our happiness is influenced by whether we compare ourselves to people who are better or worse off. In one study, people's sense of life satisfaction changed dramatically depending on whether they completed sentences starting, I am glad I am not, or instead, I wish I was. In the days after September 11, 2001, the emotion people most commonly experienced after compassion was gratitude. Gratitude is important to happiness. Studies show that consistently grateful people are happier and more satisfied with their lives. They even feel more physically healthy and spend more time exercising. Gratitude brings freedom from envy because when you are grateful for what you have, you are not consumed with wanting something different or something more. That in turn makes it easier to live within your means and also to be generous to others. Gratitude fosters forbearance. It's harder to feel disappointed with someone when you are feeling grateful towards him or her. Gratitude also connects you to the natural world because one of the easiest things to feel grateful for is the beauty of nature. But when I find it hard to stay in a grateful frame of mind, I take things for granted. I forget what other people have done for me. I have high expectations. To cure this, following the advice repeated by many happiness experts, I started a gratitude notebook. Each day, I noted three things for which I was grateful. Usually, I log my gratitude entries at the same time that I made my daily notes in my one sentence journal. These various tasks were making me happier, but they were also keeping me busier. After keeping the notebook for a week, I noticed something. I never thought to mention some of the most important bases of my happiness. I took for granted that I lived in a stable, democratic society, that I could always count on my parents' love, support, and general lack of craziness. The fact that I loved my work, the health of my children, the convenience of living right through the corner from my in laws, not to mention the fact that I loved living right around the corner from my in laws, a situation that many people might consider undesirable. I loved living in an apartment instead of a house. No yard work, no shoveling snow, no going outside to get the newspaper in the morning, no carrying out the trash. I was grateful that I would never again have to study for an exam or a standardized test. I tried to push myself to appreciate better the fundamental elements of my life, as well as the problems that I didn't have. For example, one morning after Jamie had one of his regular appointments with his liver doctor, he still hadn't called me by lunchtime. Finally, I called him. What did the doctor say? No change. He said absent mindedly. What does that mean, no change? Well, nothing has changed. Usually, I wouldn't have given this report much thought, but pondering gratitude and reading catastrophe memoirs made me realize what a happy day. No news is fantastic news. It got a stared entry in my gratitude notebook. I was mindful of being grateful too for all the bad fortune that had narrowly passed me by. The near miss on the bridge on an icy road, the time Eliza dreamily walked out into busy traffic before I could stop her. Blog readers recounted their experiences with their own versions of a happiness notebook. I started a journal of my own a few months ago in the form of a private blog on my own computer. I've spent a lot of time writing in it the things that have bothered me or things in my life that I feel I have botched, but far less time writing down what I have to be grateful for. From my experience, a gratitude journal is a great thing, and it doesn't really need to be a written journal. I tried a written journal for a couple of weeks, but it always felt artificial. Now, every day, as part of my evening meditation, I take some time to really become conscious of the things I'm grateful for, and I intensify the emotion. Switching from writing down what I'm grateful for to feeling the gratefulness with my heart is a great thing. I learned a lot of that in Thailand, where many people have the habit of visiting temples and making merit. The first couple of times I went with them, I always asked them what to do and how to behave. And they answered, "You shall just pray with your heart. Make gratitude for everything you experience a real heartfelt emotion." And this really made a big difference for me, from a fake makeup gratitude to a real enriching experience. I went through a terrible period when everything, and I mean everything in my life went wrong. I had no self esteem, no confidence in myself. So I started keeping a gratitude journal of things that I was grateful for about myself. I was grateful that I had the discipline to keep exercising even when I didn't feel like it. I was grateful that I had given up smoking 2 years ago. I was grateful that I managed to organize a birthday party for my father. Maybe this makes me sound conceited, but keeping that journal helped me not to be paralyzed by self loathing. But after 2 weeks of keeping a gratitude notebook, I realized that although gratitude boosts happiness, my gratitude notebook wasn't having that effect anymore. It had started to feel forced and effective. And instead of putting me in a grateful frame of mind, it made me annoyed. Later, I read a study that suggested I might have had better luck with my gratitude notebook if I had kept it twice a week instead of every day. Expressing gratitude less often seemed to keep it more meaningful. But by then, I had soared on the task. I gave it up. Because my gratitude notebook didn't work, I had to find other ways to cultivate gratitude. I tied the action of typing my password into my computer to a moment of gratitude. While I waited for my computer to wake up from its slumber, I thought grateful thoughts. This grateful meditation had the same effect as a gratitude notebook, but somehow it didn't bug me. Speaking of gratitude meditation, I noticed that if I put the word meditation after any activity, it suddenly seemed much more high minded and spiritual. When waiting for the bus, I had tell myself I was doing bus waiting meditation. In the slow line at the drug store, I was doing waiting in line meditation. I worked harder to appreciate my ordinary day. This thought arose most naturally when I put the girls to bed. I gave Eleanor her sippy cup of milk, then cuddle her in my lap as I rock her to sleep. With Eliza, after Jamie has to read to her from Harry Potter for half an hour, I go snuggle with her for 15 minutes or so. We lie together on her bed, her head on my shoulder, and talk. I try to appreciate the seasons more too, to notice in the midst of concrete and cabs the color of the sky, quality of the light, the flowers in window boxes. There is indeed, wrote Samuel Johnson, something inexpressibly pleasing in the annual renovation of the world and the new display of the treasures of nature. When I was feeling a distinct lack of gratitude, I tried to cure it by applying my third commandment to act the way I want to feel. Could I turn complaints into thankfulness? When I felt annoyed at having to take Eleanor for her ped- pediatrician's checkup, I told myself, I feel grateful for taking Eleanor to the doctor. The crazy thing is, it worked. How disappointed I had been if someone else took her. One sleepless morning, I was wide awake at 3 a.m. and at 4. Instead of continuing to toss and fume, I told myself, I feel grateful for being awake at 4. I got up, made myself some tea, and headed to my dark white office. I lit my orange blossoms and scented candle and settled in, knowing that I'd have no interruptions for at least 2 hours. Instead of starting my day feeling frustrated or groggy, I started my day with a feeling of tranquility and accomplishment. Voila, a complaint turned into thankfulness.
One second. One second.
I had been spending a lot of time thinking about trying to be more grateful. Then, one hot Sunday afternoon, when we were at the pool with Jamie's parents, Eliza said to me, You know what? I was just thinking. I am in the pool. It's summer. I'm 7 years old. I'm wearing a very cute bathing suit. And my grandmother is asking me if I want anything to eat or drink. By which she meant, Life doesn't get better than this. I know exactly what you mean. I replied.
One second, Shruti. The time is now, what's the time?
7:41.
Yeah. So by 8, I want to stop the discussion also.
Yeah.
So we are at the next section. Shall we stop here and continue the reading tomorrow, or we'll finish the reading today and keep the discussion tomorrow? I think we have another 10 more pages to go. Shall we open up for discussion, or anyone else wants to continue the
Yeah.
reading? We have about some time. Um, who else is there in the meeting today?
Yeah, Suman, Richa, you want to read? Anyone?
Yes, yes. As all decide, I am okay with both.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah,
We have no
maybe
names,
a
so
little bit,
anyone who
5 minutes
wants
we can read. Maybe 5 minutes we can continue reading, and then let's move on to the discussion. Huh?
yeah.
Is that
Is
okay
the
with
chapter
everyone?
long, Deepa, or do we want to finish the chapter today and keep tomorrow for discussion?
Oh, actually, no, I am little, I have some work today.
Okay, okay, yeah.
So by 8 o'clock, before 8, I have to leave.
Okay, sure, sure, no
There
problem.
is 10 more pages, 10 more pages. It might take a bit more time.
Okay, okay, let's do it
Anyway,
tomorrow.
we
You
have
want to
tomorrow,
stop
no?
tomorrow
So,
also, then we can stop, na then.
yeah,
Then we
yeah,
can.
because a lot she has discussed today, right? Shruti, is that okay? Sorry, I stopped you. You were reading very beautifully. You were in the flow.
So
Thank you.
I'm okay with anything. मतलब जैसे भी whatever is comfortable with everybody.
Yeah.
Then
So, is that
let's
okay?
open for discussion because you also have to leave now. So we can
Yeah,
have a small, yeah, then tomorrow we can continue. And anyway, 10 pages is easy to finish tomorrow, even
yeah,
along with the discussion.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
So, what is the learning? What is your experience today from this reading? Shruti, would you like to tell something? Like,
Yeah.
could you
Yeah.
relate to any of it?
Yeah, so Deepaji, I had an experience in my office. Okay, I just opened my LinkedIn, and one of my senior colleague had expired. Okay, and I was reading his LinkedIn post. Okay, he struggled with throat cancer. Okay, before we heard about this news, we didn't know that he was suffering from throat cancer. So he wrote a post. A lot of times we actually undervalue, small things that we are able to eat on our own every day and we are able to drink on our own. When you actually get into a situation when you are not able to do any normal things, that's when you realize, that you have to be thankful for each and every small thing that you are doing and each and every small thing that you have. So I think even in the book, there was a lot of this takeaway, appreciating each and every small thing. That life will give you reasons, to have complaints. But idea is to finding out even in that complaint, how you can make every day fruitful as per your situation. Even if life throws a lot of wrongs or lot of puts you in an awkward situation, it's on you how you are grateful for everything and how you turn every circumstance into a meaningful day. So I think that was my biggest takeaway, and obviously having lot of gratitude for everything.
Beautiful, Shruti. Yes. The writer, what I love about her is she's so relatable. She takes in her real time experience and she puts it. That is what makes her books amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Anyone else would like to share? Because we have been writing about Miracle Morning. In a way, it is related to this chapter, writing about our visions and
And part
affirmations. Yeah,
journaling.
meditation. Mm.
Yeah, I also loved
Hi, it's
the part.
Mansi.
Yes.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
Hi, hi.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm traveling, so my voice will be feeble. I mean, I was here for some time, and what I realized, what I take home, is that happiness is you choose to be happy, or you choose that is your choice every day when you get up. You have a choice among all the mates when even life throws a lemon at you. What you choose to do with your life, and that will give you a happiness. So that is what is my takeaway from this today's what I have heard about the session. Thank
Yeah, very true, very true. Yeah. So for me also, like it's in the small moments like that the author has also mentioned, no? So I love the gratitude diary writing and all that she emphasized. We already, like, I personally have a habit of doing it, and we already many of us are aware about the power of gratitude. And there is this beautiful book Magic also, right? Like, which we might be aware of. So we did it once in B Club also. So it's very powerful, and that makes a lot of difference. And I was amazed how Shruti got to read so much of that part, because I feel it's very much in alignment for her uh, in many ways. So I love the alignment that happens so many times with the reading. So yeah.
Anyone else would like to share, or shall I go? So, my takeaways from today's reading was primarily like how we can utilize time, every bit of time, every moment for gratitude. Um, she mentions like when we are like how Aditya sir is now traveling. He said he's at the waiting area. So that is a moment of meditating on while we are going to board the flight, or when we are in the checkout line, or while we are waiting for the bus stop. So I would like to add that at that moment, maybe we can make a voice note. If not able to write, we can simply meditate and be focused and be in the flow state of waiting. And maybe we can make a voice note. And then I love the idea of the one line journals. Just writing a one line journal of gratitude or maybe appreciation, and also having different journals like mere happiness journals or a work related journal wherein we mention about the what are the do's and don'ts and certain notes we can make, and we can refer to it and at a future date, so that we don't repeat the same mistake or repeat the same success thing. So those are brilliant ideas. And she also talks about, about how she is able to manage her celebrations with both her parents and her in-laws, who are belonging to different faiths. So there's no conflict within the family, uh, because they are all celebrating anything and everything, togetherness. So that togetherness and being happy and having gratitude for that is very important. And then it is very intriguing, the way she mentions about talking about eternity, and eternity she relates it to brevity of life, and reading books which are memoirs, and which deals with death, pain, suffering, disease. When her husband is unable to understand all this, why she's reading all that. And this is very interesting because he is actually undergoing a life threatening disease and treatment related to liver. Okay, the liver disease is such that his life, when he is going to die, that the doctors have actually prognosed. They have given like what his life is going to be, but there's a big timeline, like 20 years. So within that 20 years, her father-in-law, in the previous chapter, he says that he is hopeful that there would be a treatment and life will be having will be prolonged, and there would be a better quality of life. Not that he is unhealthy or incapable in any way. Jamie is having a beautiful life. He is healthy and strong right now, but in future there might be a problem due to the liver problem. So, but whenever the writer, Gretchen, she thinks about it, she feels wrecked and broken. Like, what is this? And she feels negative. But now in this chapter, she talks about, uh, I'm happy that the doctor's latest report says there is no change. So, no change is a good news. So, she takes it in the positive way, in a progressive way, and she wants to enjoy that moment. And then the idea about writing a will, and that is again, on every wedding anniversary they want to renew their will, and she wants to make sure that her husband is aware of where she keeps insurance receipts, and a payment of the tax and the girl's birth certificates. Oh, that is like, yeah, all of us should do it, but we find it little difficult to, talk about money and the future plans when we are not there for our spouse or for our children and family. To plan for that with a will is something, a little morbid, little painful, but I guess it's very important to live organized and to keep things in the right perspective. And then enjoying every fleeting moment with the children, like when her daughter is climbing the steps or when they're cuddling up, not being busy about other things, because those precious moments will fleet away, it will pass away. So it's very important that we cherish it, maybe make a note of it. And then one of her followers in the blogs, they mention about writing all small notes while traveling, while finding those 2 minutes, 3 minutes, anywhere, for the children, about life and their experiences, so that they can pass it on. So there are different forms of wills and different forms of sharing she has talked about. I found this reading very amazing. Thank you. Would anyone else would like to share?
Yeah, it was amazing, whatever I read. I missed the session today, got late, but definitely the what I have got is that gratitude is must. Generally, we focus on have not, and what we have, that is always missed in that case.
Beautiful, Suman. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anyone,
thank you.
anyone else would like to continue, please?
Real quick share from me. Good morning. I just wanted to say that, the kind of books that we have been reading in general here at B Club, uh, the common theme, I think, at the very high level is all about reminding us staying present, in that moment, because everything is fleeting, right? Otherwise, and as long as that awareness is there, uh, we make the right decisions. We are valuing that time that we have with each and every person that we cross paths with. So I'm really thoroughly enjoying this resounding, reminder that we all are receiving through whatever mediums or books. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. That was wonderful. So, any more shares? Anyone relates to today's reading? Because it is in tune with what we have been reading and doing. And I'm very excited about the next part because she's going to talk about her spiritual journey, the spiritual experiences. So, that is something exciting we can look forward to tomorrow. And it would be, in a way, continuation to all our reading. So, anyone else has anything to share?
I'm
Okay,
liking this
so
theme. Uh, all the themes that we have been doing so far, I think this theme is also again like as I mentioned maybe before, for me, this comes in a perfect alignment. So I feel with the new earth that we just finished, and this theme actually comes as an implementation of that maybe. So I'm liking that also. So like starting a gratitude journal is a very basic thing, or some anything that we want to do. But majority, what I understood is it focused on being grateful and aware, and that is what I loved about it. And the way she is mentioned, na, she makes it very, very easy and doable. Explaining her own small, small things that she does, as Deepa rightly said, she makes it very relatable, and that is so that's a different outlook that you get because of reading her chapters and themes, and gives you lots of ideas how you can also implement it. So yeah, loving it actually.
and there's one more thing, very interesting thing she mentioned. She says that sometimes we get irritated and frustrated in writing. So instead of writing every day, you can actually write it twice or thrice a week. So you can now with technology, we can type it, we can make a voice note, but there are various ways of making a journal. So that was very interesting. Yeah. So shall we wind up for the day? No. We'll take the notes and then we can wind up, I guess. If there are no more shares, please join tomorrow, and we can finish the reading and have some more shares. And we are left with 4 months, including this month. It will be 5 months of this year. So time has just fleeted away in our reading group. I'm just enjoying myself. Thank you. So are we done with our shares today?
Yes, Deepaji.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll take the notes and then we'll be done for the day. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Have a happiness day full of
Thank
happiness.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You
Thank
Yeah.
too.
Thanks
you.
a lot. Gratitude.
Thank you, and same to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. I'm also taking the notes, Deepa. Are you taking it
Yeah. Yeah.
along with?
You take the notes and you post it, Mansi. That would be
So
good.
you are not going to do it because you put it in
Yeah.
the chat or something,
Yeah.
na, like
Because you're doing it in
invitation.
one style, no? Let's continue in that way. Or if you
Okay.
want, I can do it. Not a problem. I just
No, no,
thought,
I'm
yeah, you have a pattern, no? That pattern, if we continue, it would be easy for everyone. Or if you want, I
okay.
can.
No, I'm taking. I'm taking.
Okay, Mansi, can I leave? We are done for the day, right? So tomorrow we'll meet again same time. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. I'm taking the notes and then I'll.
Yeah.